We can put them directly now to the Minister of State for Local Government and Homelessness, who is Alison McGovern. Great to have you on the programme. I mean, we just heard the situation. Homelessness is up 8% in the last year. The number in temporary accommodation at record levels. I mean, this is under a Labour government. What's going on?
Well, I am so glad that people are hearing these figures and understanding the scale of it, because I think a lot of us, when we walk around our city centres, you know, we see the rough sleeping, but I really worry about the people who are experiencing homelessness that we can't see, the kids in B&B accommodation, the young people sofa surfing. That is a big problem too, so I'm really glad that we are showing the scale of this.
Do you accept it's got worse under your watch?
I think it would be hard to turn around 14 years of Tory disaster on this issue in a year.
It's got worse, though. I think that's the thing, isn't it?
And that's why it was really important to publish this strategy before Christmas, to get our intentions set so that we can get on with making the changes that we need. You'll know that last week we published the child poverty strategy, which is about improving family incomes and bearing down on costs. That will help. You'll know that we're spending £39 billion doing as Shelter say that we should, building more social and affordable homes. That will help. This strategy today is about making sure that we prevent first. So you mentioned the duty to collaborate, which is really important. We're setting a new goal today to increase the rate at which we prevent homelessness. We measure the number of people coming forward to say, I might be made homeless. We want to track that and make sure that we increase the amount of homelessness we prevent.
So you've also pledged to halve rough sleeping, and you want to end the use of B&Bs by the end of the Parliament. I was quite struck in an interview that you gave with The Guardian where you said, I think we can do it. If we don't manage it, no one will judge me as harshly as I judge myself.
Yeah, because I've met some of those kids.
How will you judge yourself if you fail them?
I will feel that I have not done my job. I've met some of the kids in B&Bs. You know, since I first became a local councillor 20 years ago, I've known what it's like to be in temporary accommodation. It's no childhood. So we have to do something about it. I don't think anybody, as I said, will be doing their Christmas shopping at the moment, seeing, in some cases, people in tents, rough sleeping, and think that this is a sign of a country that's succeeding. So what we've seen in the data is that long-term rough sleeping is more and more of a problem now than it was in the past. And that's why we've got new money that we're announcing as part of this strategy to help people who've been on the streets for months and in some cases years.
Can I ask, because you talked there about people in tents, going and doing Christmas shopping, seeing people who are homeless, what should you do if someone who is homeless asks you for money? Should you give them money?
For a long time, I thought that that's not the right way. Buy the big issue, give to one of the homelessness charities. There's also advice if people go on StreetLink. If you Google StreetLink, you can report a rough sleeper, and there's also advice about practical things that you can do.
So you shouldn't directly give cash
I think that there's other things that people can do to help
and why
and
is
support.
That? Because you think that it's, you know, it means that they would spend it in a
No,
more...
you just don't know the circumstances of that person. Look, I'm not going to criticise anybody for having generosity in their heart, but I would say, you know, if you want to help with homelessness, then give to those organisations. Go on the StreetLink website. You can always report somebody who's sleeping rough. That means that they'll be connected with a local support worker and they can get help. And that is the best way to support rough sleepers.
Junior doctors are putting the latest proposal from the government to their members. There is a bit of hope that the strike before Christmas might be called off. How kind of optimistic are you feeling?
Well, I listened to the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, in the House of Commons last night, and I thought it was clear he'd made a big, bold offer to the BMA leadership.
Hasn't moved on pay, I guess, though.
So yes, but, I mean, they've had a near 30% pay increase. Not many other people in the public sector have had anything like that. And we have a responsibility to all of our NHS staff, to nurses and cleaners and everybody, not just doctors, and lots of doctors know that. Lots of doctors are also, you know, working really hard before Christmas. And I would say to the BMA leadership, be a part of what we're trying to do with the NHS. Help us rebuild and see this offer for what it is, which is a generous attempt to try and bring these strikes to an end.
I was really interested to see part of this deal, which is basically prioritising doctors from the UK for, training or jobs over foreign medics. And what I don't think I was really that aware of, to be honest, is the massive demand for jobs in the UK. We reject 16,000 med school applicants, but import 20,000 doctors from abroad. I mean, that's because it's cheaper to do that. That's right, isn't it?
Well, that decision was taken by previous government over the long term. They expanded medical school places, but not the training places that doctors need afterwards. And that is clearly a really big problem. So that's why Wes and Jim Mackey, the leader of the NHS, have made really big attempts really quickly to try and get more training places available. That will help.
Is it right to prioritise UK doctors?
Yes, of course. If people, grow up here and are committed, then they should be supported into our NHS. I'm very proud of the members of my constituency in Birkenhead who've come from all around the world to support our NHS. That's a consistent part of the NHS's history. People from the Commonwealth came to do that as well. But if young people growing up want to work for the NHS, we should make sure there's a pathway for them.
Just finally, can't help but ask, as you're a Liverpool fan, there's been a bit of a row going on with Mo Salah.
Honestly,
What's happening?
I'm expected to answer all sorts of questions. So I'm Team Liverpool, as per. I think it was really good for the team to get a win away in Europe. I'm hopeful that the good offices of Virgil van Dijk and others can smooth this over and bring Mo back into the camp.
Are you a bit frustrated by him, though? Has he been, throwing his toys out the pram?
I think he's been a great servant to LFC and, he can say his piece. But as ever with Liverpool Football Club, in the end, we're strongest when we're together. So he should get back in the camp and just work hard.
OK, there you go. Thanks very much. Alison McGovern, there